I got a phone call from a worried father. He could not sleep for several nights, and something was happening to him. And in the conversation, he told me, "I'm so worried. My son is going to die or really harmed." I was immediately being aware and trying to understand what's the problem. Maybe his son is in the hospital, critical condition. So I was very, very alert. First letting him to talk. And then after a couple of minutes, I realized his son is perfectly fine. He's going to school, he has friends, everything is fine. But why is his father so worried? He is worried that his son will meet with life. He is afraid that his son will not know how to handle life. And that makes him feel so afraid. Now, I think most of the people are afraid for their loved ones. Going here or going there. I know my own mother, when I was only the age of 15, I think, maybe something like that, I flew to another country to study a little bit. And I know that it was not easy for my mother to, he's going there, and he's only 15. And so during the years, what happened is that life have hit each and every one of us on the face many times. And we grew up. That made us stronger. Some of us need tools to deal with it, but we were not overcame by those challenges, at least not to the point where we took our own life, like almost happened to me many years ago. And so this is what reminded me exactly what happened with the Buddha himself. His parents wanted to protect him from life, so they enclosed him in their palaces, and he was allowed to go from one palace to the next. You would imagine that each person would love to be in that kind of a situation, but it was like a prison. And at the end, the Buddha, Gautama was his name, didn't want it anymore, and he left. He left and became a recluse, became somebody who practices spirituality. And the attempt to prevent our loved ones to face challenges of life is a vain attempt. This is unsuccessful attempt, because we all must pass through life. We came here in order to live, and there are challenges in everyone's life. Even giving birth itself is a challenge. Then raising the child is a challenge. But it all depends on how we look at it. And so that brought me again to the father and his problem. Because his problem was, and I give you a hint, he calls his son my little tiny chocolate. And so when you call somebody little tiny chocolate, this is cute. I mean, for a baby, this is wonderful, it is cute. But for a teenager, it doesn't show him that you filled with trust in his abilities, that he is a strong person, that he can handle life no matter what happens to him, no matter what life brings to him. And through this conversation, the father was able to see that he needs to find the strong points in his son. And that was exactly the exercise that he left with. Every day to look at his son, and instead of looking at all of his shortcomings and how he is a tiny little child, to start seeing how strong he is. Is he able to make friends? Is he able to study by himself? Is he able to eat? Is he able to breathe by himself? Start with those tiny little things, and the more you think about the strength of the other person, the more you realize he is strong enough to deal with life. The only thing that we can give to the other person is a role model. We can give him ourselves as a role model. If we only talk but do exactly the opposite, that will have minor effect. But if we act and then we explain how we act, this is a wonderful role model. showing that every challenge, even if we fail for the first time, then we learn from it. It's a lesson. Every challenge is a lesson. And then we learn from it and we get better for the next time. Then life will make us just like a wine. The more we are on the shelf, the better we are. I don't like wine too much, so maybe this metaphor is not so good. But that's what came to my mind. And so this is what we need to think about ourselves and about others. First of all, we don't need to keep that mental habit of looking at the shortcomings of people and of ourselves. It is much better to look at where we are strong and to remind ourselves that we are continuously learning from life. We cannot fail. We can only learn. And if you do that, no matter the challenges that you are experiencing or that your son experiencing, you see the strength and you know that in 5 years from now, you will get stronger, happier, and your son. But you need to be a role model. And as you are here, you are probably listening to these videos, you are probably trying to assimilate them into your life, to apply it. You are probably trying to make yourself better. So that already means that you are improving your own self-model, role model. So don't worry, just continue on your practice.
Want to learn more about happiness? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, and book a seat for a seminar or a private meeting on our website, monkidan.com.